Chapter 9, You Will Definitely Regret It. Ayatsuji Yukito, a detective and neighbor of Komaeda Naruto, is known for solving many cases. He is a very famous detective and has an office in this building. Komaeda Naruto moved here less than a semester ago. He usually stays here during the week to attend classes and returns to Yokohama on weekends. He is not very familiar with this neighbor, only greeting each other when they meet. In the beginning, Komaeda Naruto just thought that Ayatsuji Yukito's name is just coincidentally the same as a novelist from the other world. After all, if everyone wants to disappear then disappear together, how can there be only one switch career? The only evidence is not solid evidence. However, after meeting Dazai-sama, Komaeda Naruto reconsidered his neighbor and couldn't help but admit that in this world, that group of authors probably did collectively switch careers. Moreover, with Dazai-sama as an example, Komaeda Naruto speculates that Ayatsuji Yukito also has an ability, so that it fits the law of this world's writer's collective mutation. Initially feeling strange but then familiar, Komaeda Naruto quickly composed himself in front of Ayatsuji Yukito. Unlike today's morning with Dazai-sama, where chaotic memories almost made him say something he shouldn't have. "Do you want to go out?" Komaeda Naruto casually chatted. Ayatsuji Yukito's posture, originally planned to close the door, stopped the moment he saw Komaeda Naruto, once again opened the door, invitingly said, "Probably don't need to, can I have a moment to talk?" Komaeda Naruto was surprised and widened his eyes. "Me?" The next second, Komaeda Naruto immediately guessed something. He touched the little cat that was reluctantly dried from the towel he borrowed at the police station. Did Ayatsuji-sensei accept a job to find a cat? Yes. Ayatsuji Yukito indifferently said, "Please come in." Komaeda Naruto, although he will not refuse this person who also exudes a talented aura's invite, but as he came inside, he cannot help but say, "Ayatsuji-sensei's ability is really too wasteful to use it to find cat. Your ability should be used in a more difficult, more meaningful place." "I also think so." Ayatsuji Yukito closed the door, but she really gave too much. Komaeda Naruto. Ayatsuji Yukito, "Just kidding, we just coincidentally met." In the office a cat meowed and ran over, eyes unkindly stared at the cat in Komaeda Naruto's arm, looking closely, not far away on the rocking chair also curled up a cat. This is the first time Komaeda Naruto entered this office, but he immediately understood when he saw such a scene. It turns out to be a cat lover. Ayatsuji Yukito invited Komaeda Naruto to sit down, then reached out to try to pet the cat in Komaeda Naruto's arms. The cat was very familiar with humans, not afraid at all as it lay on Ayatsuji Yukito's lap, letting Ayatsuji Yukito observe its collar. Slightly swept a few times, Ayatsuji Yukito immediately determined, "I will give its owner a call. Do you have any request?" "No." Komaeda Naruto shook his head, "I am satisfied to be able to help Ayatsuji-sensei. Your time really should not be wasted on looking for a cat." Ayatsuji Yukito raised his eyebrows. He set up a personality profile in his heart for Komaeda Naruto, but did not say anything on the surface, just that when he called the owner, he explains the situation, then said to Komaeda Naruto, "She just left not long ago, she will immediately return, you want to wait here a bit?" "She wants to personally thank you." Komaeda Naruto has no opinion. Ayatsuji Yukito stood up and asked, "Want a drink? Coffee? Black tea? Carbonated drink?" Komaeda Naruto had helped him save a bit of time, showing a little appreciation is appropriate. Today, he went to the pet store to buy a cat toy and discovered the store clerk struggling to communicate with a foreign customer in broken English. The customer also had an interpreter that spoke with a strange Japanese accent, making the conversation even more difficult. When the store clerk saw the regular customer Ayatsuji Yukito, they immediately felt relieved and saved. Ayatsuji Yukito, seeing that the two are acquaintances, decided to find out what the situation was. It turned out that this rich lady came to Japan for a tour, her cat accidentally escaped, she immediately thought to look at the nearby pet shop to see if anyone had picked up the cat and sent it to the pet shop. That inept interpreter also understood the conversation between the store clerk and Ayatsuji Yukito, said to the lady, "This person seems to be a famous detective in Japan, maybe he can help find Elise." Seeing that they are all cat lovers, and with the added incentive of a generous reward, Ayatsuji Yukito accepts the job, especially since he has been quite idle lately. He didn't expect that after finishing his observations at the lady's rented villa and returning home to drop off his things before heading out for a meal, he would discover that his job's content had been brought back by his neighbor. This money was too easy to earn. Ayatsuji Yukito thought that if Komaeda Naruto wanted, he could just give all the money rewards to Komaeda Naruto. The rich lady was quickly brought over by her driver. As soon as she entered, the cat named Elise sweetly pounced on her, rolling around her legs until the lady excitedly scooped her up into her arms. The lady played with the cat for a while, her mood finally calmed down. "This is indeed my cat, thank you. Is this young man who found her?" "Oh my gosh, Elise is injured. Fortunately you found her in time, otherwise I can't imagine how she survived outside, my poor Elise." "Good child, do you have a bank card? I will return and have people send you the rewards money." "Ah haha, no need, it's just a coincidence, I didn't look for her, it's good that you guys can reunite." Komaeda Naruto has no need for money. Ayatsuji Yukito also said that he didn't do anything and refused the reward. The lady discovered that she actually couldn't even give money even if she wanted to, and couldn't help but admire these two gentlemen even more. "This is my business card." She pulled out 2 business cards from her wallet. "Dr. Hannibal. My psychiatrist recommended that I travel more to relieve my boredom, so according to my travel plan, I will probably return to America in the second half of the year. If you have free time, you can go to America to travel. When you arrive in America, call me. You don't need to bring anything. I will cover the cost for anything you request, please allow me to have a chance to repay you. Otherwise, I will truly be trouble." Ayatsuji Yukito was a mature adult, and was very familiar with this kind of situation. He calmly accepted the business card. "Thank you for your good intentions. I will consider it." As for whether or not to go were 2 different things. In short, if he didn't accept anything, this person would be troubled for a long time. He hadn't even eaten dinner yet. Komaeda Naruto also knew to listen and accept the business card. Unlike Ayatsuji Yukito, he wants to go to America to see talented people outside of Japan. "Thank you, I will also consider." The lady is satisfied and scoops the cat up to leave, leaving Ayatsuji Yukito and Komaeda Naruto staring at each other. Komaeda Naruto self-consciously bid farewell. He ordered lunch before he returned home. It should come by now. He shouldn't affect Ayatsuji Yukito's plan. An ordinary day for Komaeda Naruto passed by just like that. The next day, he went to Taitang High School. Most people didn't know that Komaeda Naruto had been kidnapped again during his 2 days back in Yokohama. Everything seemed normal. During lunch break, Kudo Shinichi, a year younger than him, suddenly ran over and invited Komaeda Naruto to have lunch together. That driver has been having an affair for 6 years, his wife couldn't bear it anymore, changed his medicine, so he couldn't be saved. Kudo Shinichi sighed. If it wasn't for the wife coming to receive the body and accidentally let slip, this matter would have been considered an accident. Komaeda Naruto, as a qualified supporting role, so that's how it is. Kudo-kun, after we left, still went to solve the case? How formidable, as expected of someone who is dedicated to being a famous detective. No, what detective, I'm still far behind. Kudo Shinichi was praised to the point of embarrassment. The murderer herself slipped on accident. This kind of case is really not interesting, not worth mentioning at all. I haven't even discussed it with my father. Then Kudo-kun came to find me, just to say this case is not worth mentioning? Kudo Shinichi was a little confused, vaguely feeling that he was being ridiculed. This. Although it's not worth mentioning, I want to share it with friends. Moreover, senpai is also considered as a witness in this case. I feel that talking to senpai about this is quite appropriate. Friend. What? Komaeda Naruto's tone subtly repeated a little. Kudo-kun is treating me as a friend? Ah. Kudo Shinichi doesn't know how to talk with a person like Komaeda Naruto. He always feels that Komaeda senpai's focus was always on strange places. Senpai doesn't treat me as a friend. I thought that after what happened yesterday. Haha, I was a little presumptuous. Actually, Kudo Shinichi is not an extrovert person, very few people go in his eyes. He is more curious towards Komaeda Naruto, because they experienced such a situation together yesterday. His feelings towards Komaeda Naruto is a bit similar to being in the same boat effect, feeling closer to Komaeda Naruto when he saw him. That's why he came over to say this and that. However, Komaeda Naruto's indifferent attitude makes Kudo Shinichi suddenly calm down. Komaeda Naruto shook his head. No, to become Kudo-kun's friend, I am actually very honored. But, Kudo-kun decided too early, you should think more on it. Kudo Shinichi is very confident. Senpai is troubling because of your strange luck? I feel that it's still good. It's just good. Komaeda Naruto's tone changed slightly. Even if I didn't get in that bus yesterday, you probably wouldn't have experienced anything like that? Kudo Shinichi's expression was a bit awkward. Senpai feels like that? Because of Senpai's presence. I know what Senpai experiences are a bit strange, but isn't it true that not whatever bad things happen around Senpai are related to you, right? According to the information he found, most of them are coincidences, but the probability of it happening around Senpai is really high, so Komaeda Senpai seems to have always thought that it was his reason. Should he take this opportunity to advise Senpai to not think like that anymore? Kudo-kun. Komaeda Naruto seemed to want to say something, but in the end he just smiled and said, with this kind of casual attitude and wanting to become my friends, you will definitely regret it. Chapter 9 End. Author's note. This chapter, Hannibal is named dropped hehehe, you actually do not need to pay attention to it. It's just a little warning that we're gonna have the United States map. Going to the United States is just mainly for the FBI and black organizations and such. Komaeda's goodwill towards Kudo is actually quite high, because Kudo often come to find him. His attitude is also very natural, and he also looks to be a person full of hope. But Shinichi only understands the surface level Komaeda, moreover he does not believe to what extent Komaeda's luck can do. This then. With the Dragon Head's conflict occurring last year, you can probably guess, Dazai is 17 years old right now, the timeline is 5 years ago. In other words, it's this year that Ayatsuji is known by the Special Division for unusual powers. Everyone right now is still free, cherish the last of their free time.